election cycle, the identity politics. They were talking about the things that that affect them, that affect the pocket, and they voted on the issues. So I think in terms of the messaging, the economy is one, because things more expensive now than it was between, and I'm drawing a reference here and a comparison between the previous administration and this one.
Right.
Things more expensive now than it was then. All right? Crime. Crime is the #1 issue in the country. Everybody living in fear. Home invasions, robberies, murder, illegal firearms, you name it. Crime has to be at the top of the agenda because it's the #1 issue in the country. And anybody that trying to talk to the people, they have to give some sort of plan as to how they're going to move forward with solving the crime problem that affecting Trinidad and Tobago in a very, very serious way.
Well, let me interject here, Stephen. And those are some very, I mean, when you spotlight those topics, yeah, they're very important. But one of the things you said just now is that basically you have to know your audience. And when you
Correct.
when you take in consideration the audience, you have a group of people who would say, listen, I'm simply just going to suffer in silence. And then you have another group who is going to be feeling obligated to their tribe. I need to be this way. I need to be affiliated with this party until I die. I simply do not care. Then you have those who feel powerless and ask themselves, does an election really give me that power? Will this election really give me that power? Now, when you take all of that in consideration, as well as the swing voters, then how do you tailor a message to reach those people who may have already said, listen, I just feel as though whatever I do is not going to make a difference?
All right. Yeah, well, okay. Politics is about people, right? Or at least it's supposed to be.
Right.
So politicians, they have to come out of the conventional element in this election. I mentioned just now in the era of reality, right?
Right.
Did you see the interview that Trump did with Rogan, with Joe Rogan?
Yeah, straight to
Right.
the point, basic, yeah.
And not only that, but Trump wasn't in politician mode. He wasn't just as a person and having a conversation here with somebody, right?
Right.
People need to feel that sort of connectivity to the people that talking to them. So you have to, like I said, you have to bring it home to people. You had to put it across in a way that the single mothers, when you talk on the platform and you bring up certain issues that the single mother sitting at home, she could say, yeah, boy, that's why I'm going through. And I could understand what that person's saying. You had to bring it across to the people who have been victims of crime, right? And even the families who grieving for the loved ones, all these deaths that we had. We on course for the highest ever murder rate in the country. But you had to talk to them in a way that resonate with them on a personal level. And I think that a lot of politicians in Trinidad and Tobago, they don't do that. Maybe because they don't know how to do it. I don't know. It's like you, all right, Mikey, you doing a show.
Right.
When you talk to your audience, and your audience is relate to you?
Yes.
Why?
Because they understand exactly, and the level that we're talking is something that they can relate to. In other words, the narrative has to be compatible to how they live and how they face reality on a daily basis.
Correct. So when you're on a platform or when you're out walking the communities and things like that, you have to deal with the people on that level. They have to feel that you care about them. Now, I'm not saying that all politicians who care about the people. I think it generally are politicians that care about the people, and they really, really want the country to move forward in a positive direction. But it have a lot of noise.
All right.
That you had a silence. You know the noise that I'm talking about.
Right.
We had the propaganda machinery and everything that has come out during elections, and unfortunately, we also in an era where facts are very hard to get across to the population because it's being drowned out by propaganda. So you had to figure out a way to bring that to the people, that they know what is true and what is a lie then. You understand? Because a lot of people, you know that a lot of people believe a lot of lies that have been told to them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the truth gets lost in the lies, and the media have a big role to play in that.
But I understand your point there, but that's just the thing. I mean, okay, so let's say you have someone who's a candidate that may not be charismatic. They're not the most charismatic person. You know, when they walk in, the room that doesn't light up, when they come through the community.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of it all, they are what is being sold. People buy into you before they buy into the message. And so you have to have an idea of exactly what that message is. It has to be a universal in the sense that everyone in the party, everyone who's affiliated, everyone who's coming out to actually sell that message has to know exactly what that message is. Otherwise, the challenger would get a hands up on you because now the incumbent may not be better because you spoke about the economy. And most 9 out of 10 times, that's what the incumbent would use. Listen, I've done everything was smooth sailing. You can't complain about much. I've been able to manage this, I've been able to manage that. Now, whether it's true or not, the difference is that they are able to sell that message while you may be more than willing to come and provide better and elevate the lives of the people. Your selling points are just not there. Then how do you make that connection?
Well, I don't think the incumbent right now have a selling point. Unfortunately, I'm telling you, I don't think they have a selling point. What is their selling point on the economy? Everything, the power, the power your dollar in terms of spending, it does not go as far as it used to go. You know that, I know that, and the working class know that. Right? The crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago has not improved, it gets worse. You have a Minister of National Security that has offered absolutely no plan whatsoever to alleviate crime in the country, right? And the message of the incumbent, the message of this current administration is it's your fault. And it's that you have to pull up your socks, and you have to do better, and you have to choose better men, and all kind, you know, the women and them have to choose better men. They keep pointing the finger at the population, and I think that the population, they had it up to the neck with that. Yeah. They fed up on that kind of rhetoric.
I understand your point, but the fact is that even if you can't just rely on your laurels and say, listen, I'm just going to waltz into this because they really and truly have not done what they did. Now remember, it's not a matter of what they've actually done, but it's the message, what they're selling. Now you can walk into a showroom and you could see a salesman and he's telling you this is the best car. It's efficient on gas, it's good, it's but it could be the worst model that they have ever made. Now you simply can't rely on him.
Right.
Now what he has to do now is relate to you. A man comes in there and he tells you, I have a family. You're not going to try to sell him a little two-door sedan. You have to listen to what he's saying. You have to tailor that message. You have to make sure that he understands. It's not good enough to say that there are home invasions, but to make that connection where the senior citizens are afraid to come out, that you understand that you know they're a soft target. That is the point that has to be made. I mean, I get your point, but staying quiet about it and just saying, listen, they didn't make it, they failed, and that's enough. Is that enough?
I'm not saying to be quiet about it. I think that people have to be more vocal and less reliant on talk show hosts. And I say that, listen, I said on my program this week, and I said it last week, and I've said it in the past. People have a habit of calling, and you must get tens of thousands of calls like this already. Yeah. Boy, I have a little problem, you know, and so happen and think, but I don't know if you could mention it now, but don't call my name.
Yeah.
Don't call your name.
Yeah.
So I put myself in the firing line, and you want to stay quiet in the background with nobody knowing who you are, and I open myself up to victimization, and you're safe and you're comfortable with that. I have an issue with that. People need to understand. You cannot be more victimized than you already are right now. What you afraid? What's going right for you? If you have things that are not going the way that it's supposed to go, if your standard of living is not improving, if the 4% that they're offering the working class is next to nothing and an insult, then get up and talk about it. Get up and say something about it. Be vocal about it. You cannot sit down and be silent. Now, I'm not saying that you need to take to the streets, you know. I'm not saying that you need a riot, you know. I'm not saying that there'll be anything like that. But you have a power that you could exercise every 5 years, and now it is up to you to be honest with yourself. Trinidadian people don't like to be honest with themselves. They like to lie to themselves right through. It's time to be honest. What do you want? Do you want a better standard of living? Is the current administration, or has the current administration shown you over the last 9 going into 10 years that they are capable of providing a better standard of living to you? And the answer is no. And if the answer is no, then you know what you have to do. But people have to come out of this mindset that they must stay quiet and they mustn't say nothing, and they must live in fear for victimization and so on and so forth. They have to come out. If you do not come out now, what is going to happen in the next 5-10 years?
But let me ask you this. Do you think that the perception, and you made a very strong point, they will always say, listen, Stefan, or Mikey, or, the case may be, deal with this for me, see how best you can raise this issue, but don't say where you got the information from. Do you think the perception is that they see us more than just talk show hosts, that some sort of savior, somebody who is there to fight their battles, somebody who is to lead the charge, because they have this way of saying, listen, if I stick my neck out, I'm going to be victimized. But you, on the other hand, you seem courageous, you seem brave, and perhaps I can channel what I need to through you. Is that something you ever ask yourself, did I sign on for this?
Yeah, I ask myself that every day. When it is I sign up for this? No, I understand. We on television, we in the public space. So people who watching us on television or listening on radio, they have the perception that we are the people to make the change, without the understanding that is the other way around. We are just the messengers, We are the messengers, because we are getting the message across where the people are unhappy. They're not contented with what's going on. We're talking about the issues. But then, all right, Mikey, if you call tomorrow and you say, here what's going on, we coming out, and we want 50,000 people in the streets with us. You know that you probably have more than 50,000 people following you.
Right.
I know that I must have more than 50,000 following me. But when we come out on that day, where are the 50,000 people? So they have confidence in us to get the message across for them. But when we say, listen, we need your support, we need you to back us now, we back you, come out and back us now. Because one of the things that politicians fear the most is numbers, They don't like to see people in unity, They don't like to see a sea of people coming at them, Because that means they're in trouble. Because when people get together and they unite, and unity, you ask what the message had to be. The message had to be unity. It has to be unity. It is time that the country get up and say, listen, we're not happy with the current situation. Nothing is going right. We're going right in Trinidad and Tobago right now. You can't access foreign exchange properly. Even when you're traveling, you have to go in the bank, you have to carry all kind of document to get $200. They're restricting the amount of money that you get off your credit card, or how much money you could use off your ATM card and access through an ATM out in the States. You can't even get that businessmen how to be buying foreign exchange on the black market. When they do that, it carry up the cost of living for the consumer, because they're going to pass that cost across. For all the noise people make about property tax, I think it was either Imbert or Brian Manning the other day jump up and say they almost reached the 50% threshold. So then if they almost reach it and they didn't reach it before, why people line up paying property tax? Somebody could explain me that. Because they were supposed to get 50% of property owners in order to implement the tax. Is that not so?
Well, and that brings me to the point again. Do people really grasp the essence of that? Okay, money that cannot be accounted for. Does that connection is it ever there? Does it ever make that connection? Or do you think it's just something in passing, it's lost in translation, and let's go on to the next day? Is it that people really and truly understand what needs to be done, number one? Number two, understand what the message has to be, that you have to reach them to say, listen, not only is change necessary, but it's the only option. Or is all of that lost to the fact that I simply just want to be entertained? When the time comes, I'll make that final decision.
No, I don't think so. I think right now, you're talking about missing money. We're talking about, is it $2.6 billion?
Right.
Right. We have a serious situation with our Auditor General standing up and saying, hey, 2.6 billion missing here. Where it gone? And the Minister of Finance cannot answer. And in order to clear himself, he appoint a committee to investigate himself. You understand? People understand why he just tell them that? Because that's what he do, you know. Take the one to the Privy Council. One of the law lords say, but wait, why does Ms. Ramdas being investigated under the minister? We're talking about 2.6 billion, but let me tell you what people, and I explained this on social media, and I explained it on my show already, and I'm going to explain it to your audience too. One of the biggest problems people don't understand what money is. The average man does not understand, or may not, I don't know, they're not at the point of comprehending the difference between $1 million and $1 billion. Because we're hearing all these billions of dollars being spent every year. In the last 10 years, Trinidad and Tobago, when you add up all the budgets, about 600 and something billion dollars. Billion. And we're going backwards. No, just to explain to your audience, because I'm passionate about this, but people understanding the amount of money we're talking about, the difference between $1 million and $1 billion is far. If I pay you, Mikey, $100,000 a month, right? In 10 months, you will earn $1 million.
That's right.
Correct?
That's right.
If I pay you the same $100,000 a month, you will earn $1 billion in 833.33 years.
That's right.
Not months, you know. Years I talking about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I am saying that is the difference or the distance between $1 million and $1 billion. So when you hearing the budget is $58 billion and then the year pass and your roads still deplorable and no effect on crime and the economy get worse and unemployment rising and everything going wrong, we can't secure our own borders. What's going on all this? We don't even have a good fleet of ships to secure the borders. You have an illegal immigrant problem. This country has real problems, you know. And if people don't start understanding that the money that is being spent every year, this money that it is just, that is said casually, oh, well, this going to cost $2 billion, or this going to cost $600 million. People don't understand how much money that is and what it could do for them, you know. Because I don't think they understand. And it's up to us, the people on the ear, like yourself, to bring that understanding to the people. Is part of the messaging have to be all of that too. That Trinidad and Tobago was or still is, might be, a wealthy country where we can progress and everybody's standard of living could get better, but things have to change, and it is up to the people to make the decision when the time comes on the change that they want.
Okay, and so taking all of that in consideration, because I'm about to wrap up there with you, taking all of this in consideration, would you say then that the message that has to be tailored, the message that has to come out, the message that has to be related to the people is that none of us, whether personal, business, community, and by extension, Trinidad and Tobago, can withstand another 5 years of this?
Mikey, we can't even withstand the next 5 days. You talking about 5 years? 5 days is too much. And I'm being honest with you because, and the reason why I say 5 days is too much, you had 9 years going into 10, right?
Right.
We have gone, would we agree that we have gone backwards?
Definitely.
Would we agree that we have more murders and more crime taking place in the country now than it was 9 years ago?
As you and I are talking, we had 570.
We had 570, so we shot across 600 before the year and passed 607, which was the highest rate just the other day. So we shot past that, because between now and the end of the year, we go get more than 37 murders. We can agree on that?
We can agree on that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. Would you say that the public sector and public servants are happy with the way that they're being treated right now?
Of course not.
Right. So you have all these things and other things going on in this country. Nothing points to a positive direction. Nothing is pointing to a forward movement except for false promises, but hold on till 2027. Hold on till 2027. You had 9 years. 9 years. People people understand what is 9 years? The only administration in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, or the only political party in the history of Trinidad and Tobago that has ever gotten more than one term is this current political party in power right now. Now, I am nothing against PNM, I'm nothing against UNC, NTA, PP, whoever you want to be. But when you have run the country, and you are the only political party to see more than one term, and the country is going backwards, give me anybody else.
Yeah.
Because if you couldn't get it done in 9 years, you're trying to tell me you'll get it done in 5 more?
Yeah.
It's not one term they had. Look at what the former Prime Minister was able to do in one term. Look at what she was able to do in one term. Whether you like it or not, I always ask people this question. And maybe somebody in your audience, somebody watching you, when they call in, they can answer this for me. Because I asked it already and nobody can answer it. To the people that has criticized the opposition leader, my question to them is this. When Kamala was Prime Minister, what it is that the PNM give you that Kamala take away? I want them to explain. Somebody had to call me and tell me what that is, because I can't figure it out. For all the criticism that it has criticized the lady, what did the PNM give you that she took away, that you can't give her, that she don't deserve a second chance?
I think that's
you can answer that for me. What she took away?
But the thing about it, this administration took away the most important thing to all of us, and that's hope.
Correct. But look at through the pandemic, they take away your constitutional rights. People mustn't, that's the next thing too, you know, Mikey.
Yeah.
Before I go, people mustn't forget the incompetence and the infringement on the constitutional rights during that period that was called the pandemic. I just call it the pandemic. People must not forget that their jobs were at risk. That these people took away everything from them, you know. Because you had a freedom of choice. They took away your freedom of choice, and they tried to push you in a particular direction. They pressure your employer, everybody. And they put you in a place of suffering, you know. They lock you down in your house, everything, you know. They did everything for you. They did everything to take away your constitutional rights, you know. People mustn't forget that period, you know, when they had a whole panel of clowns coming on the air 10 o'clock every morning, talking a pile of nonsense, and they can't forget Supergraph Man, you know.
Yeah.
What is his name? Avery Hines, or whatever his name was. Where they gone?
But not only that, there were news outlets there that we never even heard about. Space News and all of them. We didn't know they were affiliates of whoever. But these people were given front row seats to take this propaganda and spread it. And it makes you wonder. And if you and I even apply to sit there for a press conference, what, Stephen Reese, Mikey K? Nah, them fellas can't come in here. But you had all kinds of people from Alien News and what have you, and people, and that is why the question has to be, Stephen, after all of that, after enduring all of that, after having to live through all of that, what should be the main message?
Well, the message had to be changed. The message had to be changed. The message had to be, listen, the message had to be everything I tell you. They had to stick to the issues that are affecting people the most in the home. The average man, the working class. The working class right now under attack. They're under attack. I had the PSA president on this morning. That man break down a public servant salary from the minimum salary. It had people in the public service still working for under $5,000, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah, trainees working for more than people who've been there for years.
Correct.
So that tells you. Closing comment, go right ahead.
Closing comment? No, listen. I think, it's like I said, people have to put the differences aside. We have to come together, and you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with yourself in order for this country to move forward. If the population continue to lie to themselves and play identity politics, we are going to go absolutely nowhere. It is time that the people in this country, whether you're Whether you're African, Indian, Chinese, 1%, 2%, 10%, 99%, it don't make a difference. You have to be honest. How has this administration affected your life over the last 9 years? Are you better off today than you were 10 years ago? And then you have to make a decision and move forward like that. We cannot be stuck in this whirlwind of just going absolutely nowhere, spinning top in mud. People have to come out and be honest. That's what I ask people to do. Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
Sit down and just be honest with yourself. Are you better off today than you was yesterday? And you'll make it, and your decision will be so easy as a shape.
Steph, I want to thank you so much for taking time out this evening, for linking with us here. And again, we will be, of course, having you on periodically. Very interesting. And that message, of course, to me personally is, whether it be your business, your personal life, none of us can withstand another 5 years.
5 days, Mikey, 5 days.
Thank you so much, my friend. Have a good one. It's been a pleasure. Hey.
Take it easy. Thanks a lot.
Short break. We'll be right back.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss. This Christmas, take advantage of all the top quality hardware supplies at the lowest prices, only at Midland Hardware, number 97 Eastern Main Road, Arouca. Supreme Emulsion Paint, only $70.50. Water tanks from $841. Thin set from $48. Single kitchen faucets from $71. Face basin taps from $31. Pitch pine doors, all sizes, $465. Plain flush doors, all sizes, $245. Entrance locks and deadbolts, $50 and up. Savings on toilet sets, face basins, and all concrete blocks. We also stockpile sand and gravel. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or give us a call at 646-2144. Open Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's all at Midland.
The Excel brand delivers quality service.
I would recommend Omega Excel to everyone.
Take care of yourself, take care of your health with Omega Excel.
If Omega Excel works for me, it will work for you.
Over a period of time, I started feeling stronger in my knee where I could add more pressure.
This season, whatever job needs to be done for your home or business, you can rely on Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable, and innovative products. Available at ProVar Distributors Limited. We carry a wide range of Husqvarna equipment, power cutters, diamond saw blades, handheld blowers, trimmers and brush cutters, chainsaws, backpack blowers, water pumps, lawnmowers, lubricants, and all accessories. Full after sales and service support whenever you need it. Contact ProVar Distributors Limited at 233-9438 to find a dealer near you.
Oh God.
And we are back. Thank you so much, Master Control. We are back. Don't forget, check out ProVar and get all the equipment you need, of course, for your Christmas. Whether it be power washers, you name it, get it, check it out. Joining me is a gentleman, I think the second time I've had Heavy on. I remember when we had another studio, he was there. Let me say a pleasant good evening to the radio talk show host, every afternoon on the street, 919 FM. Good evening to you, Heavy.
Good evening to you, my brother, Mikey K.
Yes.
And to the listeners of our
Thank you, sir.
Observer.
What's up? What's the name of your program on radio, just to make a note of it?
The Future of Talk.
The Future of Talk. Thank you so much. You know, I was just speaking to television host Stephen Reese and going over, of course, an important component for every election, which is messaging. There are three components, which is timing, message, and money. And of course, message is very important. when you look at all that's taking place here and when you interact, because I know many times you would interact with people on your program in the afternoon who would tell you, listen, what you're saying doesn't make sense. The incumbent has done a great job. And you have to pick away at that to say, listen, that is not true, especially with the reality that people live on a daily basis. What's your experience been, especially as we gear up for the upcoming general elections?
Mikey and the listeners, it's been an uphill climb. You know that radio station that I'm on is predominantly, it was always known as a PNM station. Our show from 4 to 7 in the night is the only show that is speaking against speaking for children and today, I should say, right? And when you speak for a country, you tend to come across that they're against the government, right? So I realize that the message for people, the people that listen the majority of the day to that station, right? They're not listening to the message, and they want to shoot on the messenger, right? They will attack you personally. They will try to drag you and victimize you. They'll say all kind of things about you because you are not talking what they want to hear. Now, it's a pity that the majority of these people, right, get their knowledge from talk show hosts and the 1% financial media, right?
Right.
Now, my dear, let's face it. They say, and I heard this a very long time ago, but I didn't understand it, but I know now. They say those who control the media control the minds of the people, right? And if you have the information that you are getting on a day-to-day basis skewed and propagated to sway your mind into a direction for you to think that this is what it is. So they spread a propaganda, they spread a rumor, and they spread a narrative, and you are bombarded with that, right? The noise. You are going to eventually believe that.
Right.
Now, besides you, me, our show, Stephen Reeves, Robert Amara, and the SAEC, and the Gong Report, who else is speaking, right, pro-country and against the government? We have over 36 radio stations, over 10 TV stations, right, and how much newspapers that we have in this country, but only those 5 platforms speaking pro-country and against what the government is doing to us as a people. That to me, right, is a travesty where the information and the message is concerned. I just say, if it have 10,000 people listen to my show in the afternoon, right, another 10,000 listen to your show, another 20,000 listen to the government report, and about 5,000 listen to Robert Amar, that's still not enough, right? So what we selling, they're not buying. So when you talk to people on an everyday basis and they try to explain to them what they were told, they hear the same thing over and over. Kamala Tifot all the money. Kamala, money to run the country. Oh, live sport, this, that, all the noise. They can give you everything what is wrong about the UNC. But when you ask them, so you're not seeing what is going on in the country right now, right? They are so bombarded by the noise that they're willing to overlook what the PNM is doing. They are willing to make excuses and blame the people and say it's the people's fault why they don't want this and they don't want that, and it's the young people's fault, they don't want to work and they're lazy and all these things. They're not understanding that what you are trying to tell them, right, is the right thing. Even if they live in it, even if they go to the supermarket and see the prices high, even if they go to the gas station and realize they pay more for gas, even if they see all the murders and the crime in the country, the bad roads, the improper health care, the bad education, they are not buying into the message that we are selling.
All right, but let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Heavy. There's always going to be that group that is always committed for whatever reason. It could be tribal. It could be the fact that they simply, they believe that they're obligated to it because mommy was this and daddy was this. But
Right.
what about those that you would have to tell, listen, what you're saying doesn't add up because here are the facts, and you start to break down the facts for them. Do you think they grasp that, or they simply, say, listen, all right, thanks, but still, I just cannot face that, even if it's the reality that they are living?
Okay, I want to explain you something. When I spoke just now, I wasn't speaking about the people who are diehard and want to be, supporters for life for the PNM or the government. I'm actually speaking to the people who I believe I can talk to, because it makes no sense talking to a sycophant. They are stuck in the ways. I'm talking about people who will believe that, they're right thinking citizens and they understand. Their narrative is, right? Yes, I understand I'm going through all of this, but what they are offering, what the next side is offering, what Kamala the US is offering. And the minute they ask that question, right, I realize they have bought into the propagated narrative. Right? Because you cannot tell me that you're going through what you're going through now and still want to find out what the next party has to give. You understand? Or the next thing they just say, well, I'm not voting because regardless of what put it, I still have to go there and fight, I still have to live, you understand? Politics, I don't like politics thing. And I get to understand that we as a people in this country is not politically educated, and that's what the liberty done to us. Right? A good friend of mine told me, if voting was as hard as you go and get a driver's license, you may have to go and take the exam and all these things and do a driving test, a lot of people, the PNM would have never been in office. They make voting so easy that all you could have to do, they bring in a vehicle to pick you up if you don't have transport. They carry you, and all they have to do is that they put it thumbprint or stamp an X by a sign. Right? If you had also go through that voting process, like if you had to go and sign up for your ID card, your driver's license, to go and get immunization card, anything else in this country, your passport, wherever you had to do and pull out forms and all that kind of thing, it would have never been in power, because, right, there's too much things they have to do and too much reading and understanding. And he said to me, if there was a qualification thing, and had these 3 CIT passes to go and vote, right, the PNM would have never been in office. So they make it in such a way that we are not politically educated, right? All they need to do is get these people to say, okay, play with the emotions and say, then people don't like you over there, and they will vote for that. They'll vote for a nice song, they'll vote for a red jersey, they'll vote for a roti and a red solo or $100 a popular jersey. And this is how simple it is, right? But besides that, I want to come back to the messaging.
Yeah.
The messaging is social media, and I believe this is the only platform that we could get the people, the majority of the people, right, to understand and listen to what we are saying. Because quite frankly, we know the majority of the people are fed up. We know that. We know the fed up, they're frustrated, they're going through it. We see it every day, we listen to it, we hear it on the radio, we see on the social media, we see all these, the WhatsApp protesting, TNT protesting, the oil field workers and them protesting, we see custom protesting, the port workers protesting. Everybody have the police services grant, everybody have an extra grant. Right? My problem is they are all not coming together as a unit and uniting to come out as one force, and then we say, all right, come out one day and protest and say, well, no, we're going to shut down the country for one day so that we can get results. Right?
Right.
But we need social media, right? Because the tables have turned when it comes to media. And I'm going to explain you this. Right? Every single person, or not every single person, but the majority have a cell phone, right? And everybody at one point in time during the course of the day will be on social media at least 5 times a day.
All right.
Right? And if they go on social media, they're scrolling through the apps, TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp. If the message is sent there, like a recurring decimal, every hour, every 2 hours, let people see, let people hear, then we will get rid of the noise that they are hearing from the 1% media. We need to have more social media activists.
All right, so I think what you're saying is that we need to circumvent this whole mainstream and create an outlet that the people can get it directly and, of course, unfiltered. Am I correct with that?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
No, at this point in time, as we are heading to this general election, let's talk about the content. I just want to look at the content. Now, this is something people are living on a daily basis. But do you still believe that they need to be confronted with it so they will have an idea that those who are saying, listen, vote for me, I'm going to come in and make things better, have an understanding of what they're going through?
Yes, Mikey, I want to agree with you there.
Yeah, because it's not just a matter that I understand that you're under siege with home invasions, but I want to understand that you have a fear every single day that somebody could jump through that window, kick down that door, and do the worst things to you. Do you think people need to understand that, a comprehensive breakdown of what that fear is, and understand that we know that fear and we understand it?
Yes, people need that. They need to understand, right, that first thing they need to do, they need to get somebody to convince them that if you vote for me, right, then we will try to fix this fear that you have, right? And you have to reassure people. Now, before you could have just say anything to people and they would have believed. But now, when it comes to people, there's something, especially young people, they have a hole in their hand where they can go and fact check everything.
Right.
Right? So long ago, you could have come on a platform and said, so, and I go do this, and I go do that, and I go do this, and don't worry, I go do this. Now, they want it more in detail. How are you going to do it? You understand? What you're going to implement? Right? How soon? You understand? How much will it cost? You understand? We'll have to be paying more taxes for this. Right? So you have to find a strategic way to make the people feel confident and comfortable, and that fear of them wondering if somebody will come in the house or somebody, you have to reassure them that when they vote for you, you can fix these problems for them.
Understood.
Yeah.
I want to take some calls, but go ahead with your closing comments. Time is against us, but go ahead. I give you time to close. And but I must say, my takeaway from what you're saying there makes a lot of sense. I want to compliment you on that because I think people really need to know and understand that it's not just saying what the issues are, but having an in-depth understanding of how the issues affect them.
Exactly.
All right. Closing comments, go right ahead.
In closing, I want to let the countries of Trinidad and Tobago know this, right? In 2025, you have to remain focused. You have to cancel all the noise, and you have to find a way to change not only you, but the people around you, your friends, your family, and people you associate with. You have to make talk politics, and tell people who don't like to talk politics, because we in Trinidad and Tobago don't like to talk politics and religion. You have to let them know what's going on. I need you to come out and vote in 2025. Even if you don't vote, you never vote before. That is nothing to boast about. I need you to come out and vote and help us change this country around and get rid of this government that is carrying our country down in the gutter.
Thank you.
Right? And if every Trinidadian who knows somebody that don't go, because I'm not going to say my case, the statistics will show, right, that the majority of the voting population don't vote. Right?
Sure,
and we need to get those people out there to vote and change this. We don't even want the PNM in opposition. We want the whole map yellow. Right? Thank you very much, Mikey.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
Yes, brother.
Thank you. Hey, we're going to squeeze in some calls here. 225-9790. And if you have to make a WhatsApp call, 494-0938. You heard from two gentlemen who are interacting with the public on a daily basis on their programs, television and radio. But one of the thing that stood out, and if you listen to both gentlemen, they keep saying to close off the noise, shut down the noise. So I think we've located that the noise is coming from mainstream media and others who are giving us stories that definitely do not reflect our reality on a daily basis. So now that we understand that, what is that message? You know it. You live it on a daily basis. You understand. You're the one opening that cupboard. You're the one opening that refrigerator. You're the one checking that bank account. You're the one that when the mail comes, you have to check the mail. How much is the light bill? How much money does the water bill request? All of these things. That's what you're living. No one else is living that for you. So if we shut the noise down and we understand, what should be that message? All right, sorry about that. 225-9790 and of course 494-0938. Hello.
Yes, good night, sir.
Good night.
Mikey K.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, Central here.
Yes, Central.
Mikey K, I want to tell you that it's a wonderful program that you're doing. And I want the country to understand that the last person we interviewed there, take heed, because our country is going down a drain. And it's a rain that is going down, my friend, if the young people let me come out and vote and get rid of that administration, all hell break loose, my brother. People in this country only understand what's going on. The PNM is putting this country into debt. You understand? You can't tell me that Venezuela, that the United States is not recognizing the Maduro as the president, but Trinidad hooks up Venezuela to do the dirty work. You understand? I understand from good sources, Mikey K, that they borrow money, Trinidad borrow money from three banks, billions of dollars, US dollars, and where the money gone? And they borrow from Venezuela. Venezuela have money to little people, but they had the people all part of the world begging hand and cap. You understand? And I want to tell this country, it's time that we get up and get rid of them, because when Donald Trump sworn in January, and I say that before, you're watching to see what's going on in the Caribbean, and I want to see what will go on to our country. And our country is not going to take this. We didn't deserve that. So go out and vote and get rid of that administration, because as I said, are liars and the thieving everything that they could thief and put this country at this my brother. I thank you, my friend.
Thank you so much. Lines are open. If you have to make a WhatsApp call, 494-0938, as well as 225-9790. What should be that message? I think it's quite clear now. I mean, is your reality being reflected on what's being in print media, what's being coming across television? Is that real? I mean, how do you feel on a daily basis? Extortion, home invasion, and so many other things that you have to face. Is that message coming across? And what should that message be as we go up, of course, with the upcoming general elections that can take place, someone said, between now and 8 months, as the case may be, or even sooner. So that in itself says quite a lot. Right, let me get you here. Pleasant good evening.
What's being in print media, what's being
you're on
across television, is that real? I mean, how do you feel?
All right, not there. Good evening.
Please, is that message coming across? And what should that message
Good evening.
be as we go up the upcoming general election?
Once you get in, just start. You don't listen to the device. You're on. All right, there are a lot of people trying to get in. Don't forget 225-9790 as well. Good evening. The lines are open. What we got? Go ahead. Caller, you're on. Go ahead.
Good night there, Mikey K.
Good night.
Mikey K.
Yes, you're on. Go ahead.
We're in serious trouble in this place, and people don't realize that, you know. We have been lied to by this PNM government. Look at the amount of money this thing in the Auditor General reports for the years gone by that they borrow. There's a squandermania scandal going on here. And just imagine they borrow $500 million
US dollars to pay lawyers, legal lawyers outside this country. Who are these lawyers and what did they get paid for? I didn't see the PNM with no cases in this country that could impact positively on the taxpayers of this country to get back something. But wait, $3 billion gone by? Yeah, and then they'll be talking a certain nonsense about what lies for that drop in the bucket compared to what these people do in here. The serious debt they put in this country, generations from now wouldn't be able to pay back for that, Mikey K. The people of this country sit on their tail. They're supposed to be getting up and protesting all over the place with this nonsense. The repercussions there to be seen, but they just didn't know it yet. It's coming sooner or later. We don't see any Forex jam. All of this is part and parcel of what they're doing, right? Mikey K, we in some trouble. Hot waters, boy. Hot waters.
So true. Thank you, Gola. Oh, boy, I tell you. We are indeed. Yes, good evening.
Hi, Mikey. Good evening to you and to everybody out there.
Welcome.
Mikey, really good show tonight with those two hosts. But what my concern is, we are hearing Brian Manning now saying that they haven't reached the 50%. But Mikey, we were told by IMBA that they have reached more than past the 50%.
Yeah, you're right.
And that is why they had to implement. Yeah, that is why they had to make the people pay the property tax now. So all along, Mikey, they have been lying to us. They have been lying to us for not bringing the property tax. Then they brought the property tax. Then they were threatening us that if you don't pay it, you will go to jail or pay $5,000. It was a whole set of threats. And then after they got so many people because of the threats, right, to pay the property tax, you're coming to tell us now that you all did not make the 50%. How can, and yet still people still sitting on the fence, Mikey. People still wondering, as Heavy rightly saying, right? I don't like the PNM, but who we go put? All you seen for this and what it is going on is still asking these questions. The people lying to us every time.
And what's being told to and what's being told to us is not the reality that we're living.
Exactly. They are painting a picture and they want us to frame it. But we cannot frame it because we are seeing what they are not seeing. But let me tell you something, Mikey. Elections have consequences. And if people don't go out there and vote, we are going to sit in the same stew that the PNM have us in, right? And then they're going to blame Kamala for everything. Blame Kamala. And as Stephen Reese rightly said, what did Rowley give you all that Kamala took away, that you all hate that lady so, right? And she did more in 5 years. Stephen admitted it in 5 years and Rowley did in 9. Thanks a lot, Mikey.
Thank you so much. And that brings us to the end of our program this evening. Quite interesting, and boy, I tell you, that message is finally starting to show itself. It's starting to evolve. Folks, don't forget our bodies are under stress from environmental toxins, to work stress, to poor food choices, and low nutrients in the food we eat. Our bodies are under a lot of stress. And all of these can lead to high inflammation levels. Excessive inflammation can lead to a large number of health problems that cause pain and damage to the body. So what do? Pick up your bottle of Omega XL, the 3 fatty acids, omega-3 fatty acids, help the body reduce inflammation. So get your bottle today. That brings us to the end of our program. We'll be back here next week, Tuesday. As you know, the last Wednesday of the month is something is already scheduled. So we will be back, and we will be, of course, getting you some extra time, an entire half an hour, to let you come in and make your comments, because we are crafting that message, that important message, because not only is change necessary, but it is the only option. Don't forget, of course, we are observing, but action has started. Have a good one and be safe.
The Observer. The Observer.